Did you know that a single explosion in Havana Harbor set off a chain reaction that changed the course of American history forever? It's true, and it's a story you won't believe. So buckle up, because today we're taking a deep dive into the mysterious destruction of the USS Maine, an event that catapulted the United States into a war it wasn't prepared for, with consequences that echo to this day. It's the year 1898. The United States is on the cusp of a new century. The Industrial Revolution has transformed the nation into a burgeoning global power. But politically, America remains cautious about entangling itself in foreign conflicts. Across the ocean, Spain is struggling to hold on to its dwindling empire, with its crown jewel, Cuba, in open rebellion. Tensions are high, and the winds of change are blowing across the Western Hemisphere. Amid this backdrop, the USS Maine, a second-class battleship in the US Navy, is sent to Havana Harbor as a gesture of goodwill, but also as a subtle warning to Spain. The ship was meant to reassure American citizens residing in Cuba, who were increasingly at risk due to the violence of the Cuban War of Independence. But the mere presence of the Maine was a bold move that many saw as provocative. Now, let's set the scene. February 15, 1898. It's a quiet night in Havana. The Maine lies anchored in the harbor, its crew largely asleep. Then, at approximately 9:40 p.m., an enormous explosion rips through the ship. The sound is deafening. Fireballs light up the night sky. Within minutes, the Maine begins to sink, and more than 260 sailors lose their lives. Only a few manage to escape the fiery wreckage. But here's where the real story begins. What caused the explosion? Was it an accident, or was it sabotage? American newspapers immediately jumped to conclusions, fueled by what we now call yellow journalism, sensational, often misleading reporting designed to sell papers. You may have heard the famous rallying cry, "Remember the Maine, to hell with Spain." This phrase became a battle hymn across the United States. Yet, even at the time, not everyone was convinced of Spain's involvement. The technology to definitively determine the cause of the explosion simply didn't exist. From the very beginning, two competing theories emerged. One side argued that a Spanish mine had detonated beneath the ship. Others believed a coal fire ignited the Maine's ammunition store, an accident rather than an act of aggression. But the investigation conducted in 1898 wasn't exactly impartial. A naval board of inquiry concluded that a mine had caused the explosion, but it offered no real proof. The US government, eager to act, seized upon the report. Public opinion swung heavily against Spain, and less than 2 months later, the Spanish-American War began. This brings us to an important question. Could the United States have entered the war without the Maine incident? Possibly. Tensions with Spain were already high due to its brutal treatment of Cuban rebels, which was widely publicized by American journalists. Even so, the Maine's destruction served as a catalyst, giving the US the moral justification it needed, or so it believed, to intervene. Let's talk about the war itself for a moment. It was a short but impactful conflict that reshaped global geopolitics. The United States declared war in April 1898, and by August, it had achieved total victory over Spain. In the aftermath, the US acquired territories including Puerto Rico, Guam, and the Philippines, signaling its emergence as a global empire. Yet, this imperial expansion wasn't without controversy. Domestically, many Americans debated the morality of acquiring overseas colonies, arguing it contradicted the nation's founding principles of self-determination and democracy. Fast forward to the 20th century. The USS Maine remains a potent symbol, but its story doesn't end in 1898. Over the years, the wreckage was examined twice more. In 1911, a new naval investigation largely upheld the original theory, an external mine. Then, in 1976, a team of modern naval experts and historians revisited the case. Armed with advanced technology and computer simulations, they arrived at a surprising conclusion. The explosion was likely caused by a spontaneous coal fire in one of the ship's bunkers, which eventually ignited the nearby ammunition stores. If that's true, then the Spanish-American War was arguably launched over a tragic accident rather than an act of war. What a plot twist! Think about the implications. Could American lives have been saved and history altered if there had been more restraint and thorough investigation? We'll never really know, but the legacy of the Maine teaches us a crucial lesson about the dangers of jumping to conclusions. One of the most fascinating aspects of this story is its parallels to other moments in history where incomplete or misleading evidence has led nations into conflict. Time and again, governments and media have played roles in shaping public opinion, sometimes with disastrous results. These patterns are important to examine, not just for their historical context, but for what they can teach us about the present. Today, we can visit the USS Maine Memorial in Arlington National Cemetery, where many of the sailors who lost their lives are honored. The Maine itself, or what remains of it, rests quietly beneath the waves just off the coast of Cuba, a haunting reminder of how fragile peace can be. In the end, the story of the USS Maine is more than just a mystery. It's a cautionary tale. It's about the power of perception, the dangers of sensationalism, and the often unscrutinized path to war. But it's also a story of resilience and reflection. The tragedy of the Maine didn't just change the course of American history. It opened a conversation about how we interpret events, how we assign blame, and how we move forward as a society. So the next time someone says, "Remember the Maine," take a moment to think about what that really means. It's not just a slogan, it's an invitation to reflect on the complexities of history and the lessons we can draw from it. And that's the story of the explosion that shattered a nation's innocence. If you found this fascinating, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more episodes of Study Fascinating History. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and most importantly, keep learning. Thank you for watching.